Hey, what's up you guys? It's Dorothy and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Comment down below what you want to see in the future. Click that subscribe button and turn on my post notifications. That way you get notified every time we go into the next part or chapter of whatever book we are on. In today's video, we are doing, oh, that's backwards, Good Girl, Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. It is the second book to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And I'm so freaking excited because it is getting so good already. And we are only on chapter 7. What? And it's just like the last book. It ties you in and draws you. And I've got a feeling about this one. It's going to be just as good as the last one. Anyways, today's shout out is Mark K. Thank you so much for your support. And I can't wait to use the little drawing you sent me in one of my videos. I just have to figure out how to actually get it edited into my video, but I will post it as soon as I can. Anyways, let's get right into this. This video may contain sensitive topics and foul language. If you do not wish to continue, please click off the video now. You have been warned. Alrighty, chapter 7 of Good Girl, Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. The Reynolds house on Cedar Way had always looked like a face. The white front door and the wide windows on either side were the house's toothy smile. The mark where the bricks were discolored, that was its nose, and the 2 square windows upstairs were its eyes staring down at you, sleeping with the curtain when the curtains were closed at night. The face usually looked happy, but as Pip stared at it now, it felt incomplete, like the house itself knew something inside was wrong. Pip knocked her heavy backpack digging into one shoulder. "You're here already?" Connor said when he opened the door, moving aside to let her in. "Yep, stopped by home to pick up my equipment and came straight here. Every second counts with something like this." Pip paused to slip her shoes off, almost overbalancing when her bag shifted. "Oh, and if my mom asks, you fed me dinner, okay?" Pip hadn't told her parents yet. She knew she'd have to later. Their families were close ever since Connor asked Pip over for a play date in the 3rd grade, and her mom had seen a lot of Jamie recently. He'd been working at her real estate agency the past couple of months, but even so, Pip knew it would be a battle. Her mom would remind her how dangerously obsessed she got last time, as if she needed the reminding, and to tell her she should be studying instead. There just wasn't time for an argument now. The first 72 hours were crucial when someone went missing, and they'd lost 23 already. Pip, Connor's mom, Joanna, had appeared in the hallway. Her fair hair was piled on top of her head, and she looked somehow older in just one day. "Hi, Joanna." That was the rule, always had been. Joanna, never Miss Reynolds. "Pip, thank you for it," she said, trying on a smile that didn't quite fit. "Connor and I had no idea what to do, and we just knew that you were the person to go to. Connor says that you had no luck trying again with the police." "No, I'm sorry," Pip said, following Joanna into the kitchen. "I tried, but they won't budge." "They don't believe us," Joanna said, opening one of the top cupboards. It wasn't a question. "Tea?" But that was... "No, thank you." Pip dropped her bag onto the kitchen table. She rarely drank tea anymore, not since the opening night of the town's winter carnival last year when Becca Bell had slipped Andy's remaining Rohypnol pills into Pip's cup. "Shall we get started in here?" she said, hovering beside a chair. "Yes," Joanna said, losing her hands in the folds of her oversized sweater. "Best do it in here." Pip settled into a chair, Connor taking the one beside her as she unzipped her bag and pulled out her computer, the two USB microphones and pop filters, the folder and pen, and her bulky headphones. Joanna finally sat down, though she couldn't seem to keep still, shifting every few seconds and changing the position of her arms. "Is your dad here?" "Your sister." Pip directed the questions to Connor, but Joanna was the one who answered. "Zoe's at college. I called her, told her that Jamie's missing, but she's staying there. She seems to have to come down on her father's side of things." "What do you mean?" "Arthur is." Joanna exchanged a quick look with Connor. "Arthur doesn't think Jamie's missing. Thinks he's just ran off again and will be back soon. He seems very angry with the whole thing. With Jamie." She shifted again, scratching at the point just under her eye. "He thinks Connor and I are being ridiculous with all of this." She gestured to Pip's equipment. "He's gone to the supermarket, but he'll probably be back soon." "Okay," Pip said, making a mental note, trying to betray nothing with her face. "Do you think he'll talk to me?" "No," Connor said firmly. "No point in even asking." The atmosphere in the room was tight and uncomfortable, and Pip's armpits prickled with sweat. Okay, before we do anything, I need to speak honestly with you both. Give you, I guess, kind of a disclaimer. They nodded, eyes wholly focused. Now, if you're asking me to investigate to help find Jamie, we have to agree up front where this could potentially take us, and you need to be happy to accept that, or I can't do it. Pip cleared her throat. It might lead us to potentially unsavory things about Jamie, secrets he might have kept from you and wouldn't want exposed. I agree that releasing the investigation on my podcast is the fastest way to get media attention for Jamie's disappearance. Bring in witnesses who might know something. It might convince the police to actually investigate, or it might even get Jamie's attention if he really has just left and bring him back. But with that, you have to accept that your private lives will be laid bare. Nothing will be off limits, and that can be hard to deal with. Pip knew that better than most. The anonymous death and rape threats still came in weekly. Comments that in tweets calling her ugly, hateful bitch. Jamie isn't here to agree to this, so you need to accept for him and for yourselves that you're opening up your lives to be scrutinized, and it's the possibility you'll learn things that you never would have wanted to know. That's what happened last time, so I just want to check you're ready for that. Pip trailed into silence, her throat dry, wishing she'd asked for a glass of water instead. I accept, Joanna said, her voice growing with each syllable. Anything to get him home. Connor nodded. I agree. We have to find him. Okay, good, Pip said, though she couldn't help but wonder whether the Reynolds had just given her permission to blow up their family like she had with the Wards and the Bells. They'd come to her, invited her in, but they didn't really understand the destruction that came in with her. Hand in hand, through the front door, which looked like a smile. It was just then the front door opened, heavy footsteps on the carpet and the rustling of plastic bags. Joanna jumped up, her chair screeching against the tiles. Jamie, she shouted, running towards the hallway. Jamie? Just me, said a male voice. Not Jamie. And Joanna immediately deflated like she had just halved in size, holding on to the wall to keep the rest of her from disappearing too. Arthur Reynolds walked into the kitchen, curly red hair with wisps of gray around his ears, a thick mustache that peppered onto the well-trimmed stubble. His pale blue eyes looked almost colorless in the bright LEDs. Got more bread, and Arthur broke off, his shoulders slumping as soon as he spotted Pip's laptop and microphones in front of her. For God's sake, Joanna, he said, this is ridiculous. He dropped the shopping bag onto the floor, and a can of plum tomatoes rolled under the table. I was going to watch TV, he said, marching out of the kitchen and into the living room. The door slammed behind him, ricocheting through Pip's bones. Of all of her friends' dads, she would have said Connor's was the scariest. Maybe Aunt's, but Kara's dad would have been the least to look how that turned out. I'm sorry, Pip. Joanna came back to the table, picking up the lonely can on her way. I'm sure he'll come around eventually. Pip began, should I be here? Yes, Joanna said firmly. Finding Jamie is more important than my husband's anger. Are you? I'm sure, she said. All right, Pip unclipped a green folder and pulled out 2 sheets of paper. I need you to sign release forms before we begin. She handed Connor her pen while Joanna fetched one from the counter. As they read through the forms, Pip reawakened her laptop, opened up Audacity, and plugged in the USB microphones. They readjusted the foam pop filters over them. Connor signed his name and the microphones came alive, picking up the scratching of his pen, the blue sound waves spiking from the center line. Joanna, I'll interview you first if that's okay, Pip said. Sure. Joanna handed her the signed form. Pip shot Connor a quick, close-lipped smile. He blinked vacantly at her, not understanding the signal. Connor, she said gently, you have to leave. Witnesses must be interviewed separately so they aren't influenced by anyone else's account. Right, got it, he said, standing up. I'll go upstairs keep trying Jamie's phone. He closed the kitchen door behind him, and Pip adjusted the microphones, placing one in front of Joanna. I'm going to ask you questions about yesterday, said Pip. Try to create a timeline of Jamie's day, but I'll also ask you about Jamie in recent weeks in case anything is relevant. Just answer as truthfully as you can. Okay. Are you ready? Joanna breathed out and nodded. Pip slipped her headphones on, securing them around her ears, and guided the on-screen arrow toward the red record button. The cursor lingered over it. Pip wondered whether the moment of no return had already been and gone, or whether this was it, right here, right now, hovering above the red button. Either way, going back didn't exist anymore. Not for her. There was only forward, only onward. She straightened up and pressed record. I'm going to leave off there. This chapter is pretty long, so I will see you guys in the next part for chapter 7. I'm sorry to do that, but it's what's gonna have to be done, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.